All right, there's a look at the engine on the Goldwing. Literally, this is the only part exposed that you can see. She's a beauty. One thing I dig about the Road King is that exposed V-twin. Beautiful. Hey, good morning, what's up you guys? Welcome back to John's Moto Garage. Today we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the 2011 Harley Davidson Road King 103. This is the Road King Classic, and a 2013 Honda Goldwing F6B. So sometimes on the channel I like to do these comparisons, kind of a side-by-side where I share my thoughts and opinions on the bikes. Whenever I have two bikes that are kind of in the same wheelhouse, just to give you guys some additional insights. If you want like a real in-depth review, I'd recommend checking out like Motorcycle Magazine or some of those websites online that specialize in doing just that, to get into the nitty-gritty. But this will be pretty surface level, basic, walk around side by side, my thoughts on the two bikes, having ridden them, and all that good stuff. If you haven't already, and if you dig the content, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. I do appreciate all the support. So obviously there are going to be similarities as well as big differences between the two bikes. Let's talk a little bit about that. We'll start the bikes up. You can kind of get an up close look and feel for the two motorcycles. So for some of you guys out there, it's just like a clear-cut decision. Either you totally dig the Harley and you hate the Honda, or you're all for the Honda and you hate the Harley. But there's other guys out there like myself. I'm not biased or really partial to motos. I'm down to ride just about anything, and I think every bike really has its place in the moto world, and a lot of this comes down to personal preference. They're both definitely on the larger side. The Harley weighs around 750 pounds. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know the Goldwing weighs thereabouts. Now the Harley has cruise control standard on the Road King. The F6B on the other hand offers it as an upgrade, at least for this year. They did not come standard with the electronic cruise control. The Road King has ABS brakes. That's an option. This Goldwing does not have ABS, but there is the option as well on these Goldwings to get it with ABS. Now this F6B does have the radio. We'll take a look at the cockpit here, kind of give you an idea. So here's the cockpit from the F6B. And both of these bikes that I purchased pre-owned, obviously, cost right about the same. You know, within $500–600 of each other as far as the value goes. So this also goes to show what you can get for the money with these different motorcycles with the options that are out there. So here's the cockpit from the Goldwing F6B. If you were to have cruise control, it would be over here, but you've got your start, you've got your kill switch, you've got the hazards. And I do a walk around and review specifically on this bike, so you can, to get, you know, more in depth, if you're interested just in this F6B, I would recommend checking out that video. But you've got this little glove compartment here, a little bit of storage space. You got this piece up here. You got all your gauges there, as well as right here on the handlebars. Goldwing is pretty dang comfortable. You don't have your floorboards. Instead, you've got more of a foot peg, and these foot pegs don't sit quite as far up as with. They're not super forward controls. Sorry about my skate shoes, they're all raggedy. But you can get, of course, highway pegs as well for these bikes. So I've seen people who do that. So if you're on the taller side, you may get highway pegs, so it's a little more comfortable. But this sits almost more like a mid-control position. Personally, I like it. It gives you more of that feel like a sport touring bike. So it's a little easier to lean in the corners. Now this one has the Ape Hangers. Most of your Road Kings are going to have kind of a beach cruiser style bar. Depending on your height, these Ape Hangers are pretty nice because they give you a more relaxed position with the bars, as opposed to being kind of leaned over. You're more kind of sitting back in the bike. So I can see why some people do the Ape Hangers. With the Road King, you've got the ignition. This is standard on a lot of Harleys. You can lock and unlock the ignition. This one, in addition to ABS, it also comes with your security fob. On, off, you got, this is for the cruise control, so you can set and reset it. You got your self-canceling turn signals, high-low horn, This is where you turn the cruise control on and off, and then over on the back side, oh no, right here you got your trip. You got your gas gauge, you got your gas cap. Classic beautiful lines on the Road King. You've got the black, the chrome, just a good balance between the two. Not too flashy, but you really, I think they hit the mark as far as your classic motorcycle style goes. So if that's what you're looking for, the Road King definitely has it. Both of these are gonna be great for touring. The Road King has the 103 cubic inch, 6-speed, air-cooled. It's a belt drive, plenty of power. This one is an 1800cc, liquid-cooled, shaft drive, 6-speed as well. It's got the overdrive. But these bikes I bought both used, and the used value right now on the two is right there in the same ballpark, within $500 to $1,000. This Harley Road King I got on Craigslist. It has 12,800 miles, clean title of course. The Goldwing has 1,800 miles. Both of these bikes used, you should be able to pick up with 15,000 or fewer miles, at least in my market here in Arizona, for anywhere from 10 to 12,000 bucks. So that's what you got with the Goldwing with the F6B. It is a very smooth, comfortable bike. I always say if I were going to take a bike and go cross country, this would be the one for me, just because it is so easy to ride and so comfortable. The Goldwing is a lot heavier. Well, the Goldwing feels heavier the way the weight's distributed. It doesn't feel overbearing though, but it definitely feels heavier. It's not going to be as nimble, but it still has plenty of power. You got the rumble. You've got the visual appeal. A lot of people are going to look at that and think, what a cool looking motorcycle. And definitely very torquey, so still a fun bike to jump on. But it captures a little bit more of that motorcycle feel, if you will. Let's go ahead and start up the Goldwing. So you can see this is stock exhaust on a Honda Goldwing. Very quiet. It still has a nice little undertone to it. Let's go ahead and start this sucker up. So there you have it, the two side by side. The Road King, this is stock exhaust if I'm not mistaken. It has a nice tone to it for sure. So I compare the Road King to like a lifted truck, if you dig that look. And the Goldwing is kind of like your sports car. Sleek, completely different lines, but again, they both have their place and it comes down to personal preference. All right, now my personal preference, again, if I could only have one of the bikes, the Road King or the Goldwing F6B, personally, I would opt for the Honda Goldwing F6B for some of the reasons I mentioned before. It's so lightweight, it's so smooth, it's so quick, it's so fun to ride. You feel like you're on a sport bike, but you've got this massive touring beast. So super capable. For that reason, I would opt for the Honda Goldwing as far as overall riding experience and enjoyability. All right, you guys, John's Moto Garage. Hope you dig the content. If you do, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to know. And until the next one, take it easy and ride safe. Hasta luego.